It is the kind of place Indiana Jones would love. It is a land of ancient buried cities, of hidden treasures. There are mysterious clues here how communities, like the ones we live in, were first formed as long as 10,000 years ago. The land now named Iraq is known to archaeologists as Mesopotamia. Some of the first people who lived there were the Sumerians, and they changed the world. The Sumerians needed a way to move things without carrying them by hand or dragging them, so they invented carts with solid wood wheels. Wheels are still key to moving people and moving things. The Sumerians were some of the earliest farmers and were the first people to find a way to water their crops without waiting for rain, a system called irrigation that is still used in farming today. The Sumerians traded their crops for other things they needed and came up with a way to keep track of trades and prices. It was one of the most important inventions in history, writing. The earliest writers drew simple pictures using a sharp stick to draw lines in a wet clay tablet. For example, this was the symbol for an ox. If a farmer had traded 2 oxen, it might be written like this. But the Sumerians soon began writing words, writing down ideas. This was a symbol for a person's head with an open mouth. If this symbol for water was put next to it, one way to read it would be, a person is drinking. Some symbols stood for a sound, the way the letter A stands for the ah sound. Later on, this idea was used to make the first alphabet. In fact, much of what students now learn in school started in that part of the ancient world that is now Iraq. The people of Mesopotamia studied math, algebra, forms of geometry, and science. They practiced medicine. They even gave prescriptions like these that tell what medicine to take for what sickness. They were among the first to study the stars, which helped them draw good maps and helped them predict what the skies would do. That's what we now call weather forecasting.
We know that there's going to be plenty of rain beneath those clouds from North Florida.
And Mesopotamia was where people first started to live together in cities. The earliest cities arose in river valleys like these that were rich in agriculture and could support large populations. The growing populations required new forms of government, so the Sumerians invented the idea of a king to lead them. There are still kings today in Jordan, which is next door to Iraq, as well as other countries. Armies were needed to defend the wealth of the new cities. The Sumerians knew all about war. Fighting was part of their lives, just as it often is part of ours. After a long period of fighting, the Sumerian cities fell to foreign invaders, but the remains of those cities, tombs, temples, and the writing tablets are part of the earliest historical records in the world.